John Campbell, 9th Duke of Argyll, was the husband of Princess Louise of the United Kingdom, 4th daughter of Queen Victoria. He was known as the Marquess of Lorne from 1847 until 1900 and was Governor-General of Canada from 1878 to 1883. John was born on the 6th of August 1845, the eldest son of 12 children. His parents were George Campbell, the 8th Duke of Argyll, and Lady Elizabeth Sutherland Leveson Gower. His siblings were Archibald, Walter, Edith, Elizabeth, George, Colin, Victoria, Evelyn, Frances, Mary, and Constance. In 1847, his father became the 8th Duke of Argyll, and John assumed the courtesy title of Marquess of Lorne. He was educated at Edinburgh Academy, Eton College, the University of St Andrews, and Trinity College, Cambridge. He went on to study at the National Art Training School. Beginning in 1868, John served in the House of Commons. He made little impression while in Parliament. In 1866, John was appointed Lieutenant Colonel Commandant of the part-time 1st Argyll and Bute Artillery Volunteers. He gave up the position in the 1880s. John married Princess Louise on the 21st of March 1871 at St George's Chapel. The marriage was met with opposition from the princess's family because John was not of royal blood. There had been no marriage of a member of the royal family and a commoner since 1515, when Charles Brandon married Mary Tudor, the sister of Henry VIII. Despite the protests from Louise's siblings, Queen Victoria saw the marriage as an opportunity for new blood to enter into the family. The Queen offered him a peerage and would do so over many years, but John refused each time. He would one day inherit the Argyll dukedom and wanted to remain a member of the House of Commons. The marriage was childless and unhappy, and they did not spend much time together. John had many close friendships with men, including Ronald Gower, Morton Fullerton, and the Count de Monet, who were either gay or bisexual. These friendships sparked rumours that John was also gay or bisexual. John and Louise lived in Argyll House in London, and then moved into a house on Grosvenor Square. The Queen eventually offered them apartment number 1 at Kensington Palace, which would be their primary home for much of their married life. They then bought Dorndon in Kent and used several houses owned by the Argyll family in Scotland. In 1878, John was appointed Governor-General of Canada, and he served there for 5 years. Louise accompanied him, and they travelled extensively throughout Canada. Louise and John managed to win over the Canadian people, and they contributed heavily to the establishment of the Royal Society of Canada, the National Gallery, and the Royal Canadian Academy of Arts. During their time in Canada, they held balls, parties, dinners, and state events. Upon returning to Canada, Queen Victoria appointed John as Governor and Constable of Windsor Castle. John took the position seriously and wrote a history of Windsor Castle. In 1895, John and Louise purchased Rosnith Castle in Scotland from his father, and using Louise's dowry, they renovated it. That same year, John was elected to Parliament, representing Manchester South. On the 24th of April in 1900, John's father died, and John succeeded him as the 9th Duke of Argyll. John and Louise's finances became strained, especially with the added inheritance taxes. To meet the expenses that came with all of his new residences, John would lease out his various residences, and the Duke and Duchess lived in Kensington Palace or on the grounds of Osborne House. In their later years, John and Louise became closer, with Louise nursing him when he fell ill. John died on the 2nd of May 1914. His wife survived him by 25 years.